Welcome to this lockdown lunch. Today we're going to be doing a minced beef and potato curry. So to run through the ingredients that we've got 400 grams of minced beef. We've got about 400 grams of peeled and cubed potato. We've got an onion, which I've just finely sliced. We've got about a tablespoon of coconut oil. We've got 2 teaspoons of coriander powder and 1 teaspoon of cumin powder. And then for the fresh spices, we're going to use some ginger. So we'll probably use about a tablespoon of grated ginger. We've got a couple of garlic cloves and a couple of chilies. And as well, I'm lucky enough to have some fresh turmeric. So we'll use around about a teaspoon or so of fresh turmeric. If you can't get hold of fresh turmeric, then by all means use the powdered stuff. Just put that in with your powder mix that we've got here. And then we've got a mug of water as well. So first off, we need to get the onions in the pan and get those cooking down. We're going to put our coconut oil into the pan, and then we'll put the sliced onions straight in there. And we want these to begin to sweat off. It just needs to be over a medium heat so that they can gently sweat off. We don't want them to burn or anything like that. We just want them to sweat down nicely and get just a little bit of colour. So come back to these every couple of minutes or so just to give them a move around and make sure that they don't catch or burn. And while the onions are on the go, we can look at the spices that we've got. So if we just take these out, we're going to use the microplane for most of these because it makes it a really easy job. So with the garlic, we don't even need to peel the garlic because the microplane will just do that for us as we run it through. And we end up with just the skin left over, which we can put in our little rubbish dish here. And now we have our 2 garlic cloves. Make sure we get the skin in our dish. Now with the ginger, what we'll do is we're just going to take some of the skin off because the skin's a bit harder on the ginger compared to the garlic. So using a knife, we're just going to scrape around. So that's keeping the knife at a 45-degree angle towards you and then scraping away from you very gently. If you're not confident doing this with a knife, then you can certainly use the back of a spoon, or you can take a knife and just carefully skin around, or you could use a speed peeler to do this as well. So just get rid of that bit there as well. And then with this, again with the speed peeler, not the speed peeler, sorry, with the microplane, we'll just grate that down till we've got around about a tablespoon of ginger. Scrape that off into our dish, and again we'll tidy up as we're going along, putting that rubbish into the bowl. With the fresh turmeric, again the same principle. We'll just look to take the very outside of the skin off because it's just a little bit tough and not what we really want. We'll just take that off. You need to be a little bit more careful with the turmeric because it does stain if you get it on your fingers or on the board. And you'll see as well that it stains the microplane, so we've got a microplane that's got a nice turmeric stain on it now. And just scrape all of that off. And then finally we've got the fresh chilies. I'm using 2 chilies in this. This is really down to your flavour on how much you want to put in and how spicy you like it. I'm not going to deseed these, I'm just going to finely chop them, seeds and all. Remember, with those knife skills, use the knife skills that you've got, using the knuckle to guide the knife so you keep your fingers well clear of the blade. And then what we can do is we can just put our hand on top of the blade, if I turn it this way, and then just rock the blade over the top just to create that slightly finer chop, and then scrape it all together on the board and just go through it again. So that can go in there. And now what we're going to do is we're going to add our spices, both the dry spice and these wet spices, in with the onions. And now we can see that our onions have started to caramelise down. They've started to get that nice caramelisation, the lovely flavour. So we can add in our spices. So we've got all of those wet spices that we've just prepared. So that's the ginger, the garlic, the turmeric and the chilli. Give that a bit of a stir around. Turn the heat up slightly. And then we've got our dry spices, so that's the 2 teaspoons of coriander powder and a teaspoon of cumin powder. And we'll stir that round. And we just want to cook out the spices for just a couple of moments, maybe 20 or 30 seconds, before we add the beef mince into the dish. So now what we're going to do, we're going to turn our heat right up. So the reason that we're doing that is because I'm going to put the beef into the pan now, and straight away that's going to start cooling the pan down. So in goes the beef. I'm going to keep that moving and mix that all together so that everything starts to cook, the beef starts to brown, and it smells absolutely delicious. This is going to be a good one, this one. And we want to keep stirring it like this and squishing it down and mixing it up until all of the beef is browned, or at least most of the beef is browned. So it doesn't need to be cooked all the way through right at this stage, because we are going to put the potatoes in, don't forget. And then it's going to sit and simmer for a good 15 or 20 minutes. So that should be absolutely fine for now. What we'll do is we'll take our potatoes, and our potatoes can simply go in the pan as well. And then in with our mug of water as well. So we've now got everything in the pan, the onions, the beef, the potatoes, all of the spices. Give that all a bit of a mix around to make sure that if there are any kind of gnarly bits on the bottom of the pan, that they're scraped up. It's all flavour. And then what we can do is we can put a lid on this, bring it up to a simmer, and then after 15 or 20 minutes it'll be absolutely perfect. It's been simmering away for around about 20 minutes now, and the potatoes are cooked all the way through, so we're ready to serve it up. And because we've used 400 grams of minced beef and about 400 grams of potatoes, it means that we've got round about 4 portions. So each portion is around about a quarter of what you've got in the pan. We serve that there. There we've got our minced beef and potato curry. It's a great dish, really easy to make. One where you can do all the preparation, get it in the pan, leave it for 20 minutes and come back to that delicious lockdown lunch. Let me know how you're getting on. You'll find me on Instagram at revive_cooking. Use the hashtag #ReviveCooking. And once again, enjoy the dish. I'll see you again next time on Lockdown Lunches.